Back to Saxon Now, your favorite place to find news and updates at South Salem High School. I'm your favorite host, Daniel Nemechek, and beside me is your other favorite host, Mason Good. And boy, do we have a great show for you guys today.
Yeah, we do. We've got an action-packed show for you today. We've got Superintendent Christy Perry coming in for an exclusive interview with Ann and Ashley, and our own Principal Romine will be joining us live on set later for a little discussion about things happening at South Salem High School. Brennick will come on for our news segment about sports and a few other stories and odds and ends to get us going.
Wow, that's fantastic. A lot of great stuff coming your way, so stay tuned and we're going to dive right in.
Yeah, let's do it. To start us off, we got some news about the Awesome 3000. For the first time in 3 years, the Awesome 3000 is returning on April 29th, 2023. The Awesome 3000 will return for the first time since the pandemic, and the Awesome 3000 started in 1983 and went on for nearly 4 decades up until the closure of the Education Foundation in 2020 due to COVID. This year, it will be held at Bush Pasture Park, and is estimated that by 2024, the Awesome 3000 will have raised $30,000 to $50,000 for educational purposes.
Wow, that is amazing. Another fundraiser that actually just happened here at South was the semi-annual South Blood Drive that happened Thursday during school hours. This year, South students donated 72 units of blood in a critical time for blood donations. It was an amazing day with many people deciding to give their blood. Nice job stepping up, Saxons. We've got lots more coming up, so stay tuned after this short break.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Hey Saxons, I'm your weatherman Eli, and let's get going with the weather. As you can see, in the whole state of Oregon, we will not have any clouds whatsoever, so prepare to put on some extra sunscreen and some sunglasses. For today, we'll have partially cloudy skies with a high of 47, and for Friday, we'll be like Thursday, but with 10 degrees warmer at a high of 48. And for the weekend, it'll be nice and sunny with a high of 80 degrees and a low of 46 degrees. And for Monday, we will be cooling off a little bit with a high of 57. And that's it for your weather. We're going to take it to sports right after these messages.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens. Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day.
Anyway, let's start with the baseball team. We are currently ranked number 14 in the state with a record of 13-3. One of our players, Cole Weiland, has driven 17 runs so far this season, which makes him one of 35 players in the state to have hit 50 more runs. But those are rookie numbers when compared to South's softball player, Rowan Thompson, who's hit 20 runs this season, 3 of which were home runs. She has also pitched 111 strikeouts so far this season. The softball team's overall ranking in the state is number 10 with a record of 7-4, but the OSAA coaches poll ranks us number 7, so I'm predicting that we'll see our ranking go up by the end of the season. Speaking of the OSAA, they have just recently sanctioned girls wrestling as a separate sport, so look forward to that this winter. Last weekend, the Oregon Relays track meet last weekend was the Oregon Relays track meet where the best runners in the state compete at the University of Oregon. 6 athletes from South competed, but only Maya Fry was able to place top 10 in her event by getting 9th in the 400-meter dash. South Salem was one of 8 schools in the state to have a girls' flag football team, and they have a game today at home at 1:30. That'll be all for sports today. Remember to check the school's master calendar at southsaxons.com for the sports schedule.
Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Oregon, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today.
Hey Saxons, we're here today with Christy Perry, the superintendent of the Salem-Keizer School District. You're retiring this year and we're here to interview you before you're done.
Awesome, thanks for having me today.
Of course. So can you give us a quick description of what the superintendent does daily?
Well, every day is a little different. So I'm just going to describe a couple different days. Some days, like today, I will be in multiple schools. So those are my favorite days, to be in multiple schools. And then like today, in between that, I'm working on a really important project, which is the budget message, which I will release next Tuesday night. So next Tuesday night, I'll be in front of a school board and on air delivering the budget message for next year. So it's a mix between lots of meetings and working with people, and then really technical projects like a budget message, and then lots of evening meetings as well, working with the school board.
What has been your favorite part about working with the Salem-Keizer students?
My favorite part of working with Salem-Keizer students is that our students really are so incredible that every time I'm with them, I learn something. So today, I'm getting to learn about your studio a little bit, and that's not my area of expertise. So that's the best part about working with students, is they teach me something every day. They're incredibly smart in ways that sometimes I'm not, because I have different lived experiences. And so that's my favorite part. One of my, I think, very favorite parts is all of our technical education that we do, and this is an example. I remember your old studio. I don't know if you do, but it certainly wasn't this.
Yeah.
I originally sat in your culinary program when I first came in, and your culinary program was in a really small classroom. And I went there for a dinner, and it was, about 110 degrees in the room, and they were serving us in the back, and the chairs were hard. And I remember sitting there thinking, we can do better for our kids. And by creating better facilities, we can create better opportunities, and your studio is just one of those. So that's my favorite part, and being able to create those opportunities and then see how our students thrive in them.
I love that. So before becoming the superintendent, you worked in education. So where did you study to work in this field?
So I have had two major collegiate experiences, which is at Western Oregon. It was Western Oregon State College then, not Western Oregon University. And then I got my administrative license through Portland State University. And I think while what you learn in college is important, what you learn in doing the job and being a teacher and being in different administrative positions are probably where I've learned the most. And so college an amount, but it can't prep you all the way. And even in now, like, I still learn things every day. And you'd think after, this is my 18th year of being a superintendent in Oregon, and I keep thinking that, well, how can there be more to learn? But yesterday alone, I had 3 major emails that I had to read so carefully because it was shifting something we were required to do. And so it was learning. So you learn a lot on the job, and you have to be a lifelong learner.
Yeah. So in one of your early interviews in 2014, with the Statesman Journal, you spoke your thoughts on standardized testing, and you said you didn't think it was the best way to evaluate a student's learning ability. Do you still agree with this? And if so, do you feel you've had an impact on it? And do you think you've changed something about it?
Yeah, I do think I still believe the same thing, especially the summative assessments that a lot of you are probably into now. The length of time we're having students assess, the way that particular assessment is like at the end, and it doesn't really help your teachers know what you might still need to learn because it comes next year. So especially that sort of standardized testing, I think a better method for standardized testing is shorter, more interim assessment, so you can compare where your kids are to other kids in the state or in the nation, but not the length of time, the end of your school year time. It just doesn't give good feedback to you as learners or to your teachers.
So we heard that you won Oregon's Best Superintendent of the Year in 2021, which congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
How does it feel to win that award, and how do you feel that you got there?
Well, it was super shocking because it was in COVID, and when the award was announced, they came into my office while I was on video for a district-wide meeting. So I had several people watching me, and at the same time they walked in to give me the award. So it was a really humbling time because I was representing during the pandemic all Oregon superintendents. So I think that was part of how I got there, is how I represented other Oregon superintendents during that time. And then I went on to be one of 4 for the National Superintendent of the Year. And again, to be able to represent my colleagues in Oregon, the hardworking superintendents across the state, and there's about 195 of them, is just made me proud, but it made me proud to represent them because they work as hard, care about kids as much, try to do the right things like I do. And so to represent them was really powerful for me.
Well, thank you for coming out today, and we wish you the best of luck in retirement, and we thank you for everything you've done. And let's go back to the desk.
Well, Saxons, it's that time. We are so excited to welcome our very own Principal Romine to the set. Miss Romine, how are you today?
I'm doing really well. Pretty honored to be here today.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're so glad you're here. And we just have a few questions about your first year as a principal and how that things have been going. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Let's dive right in.
All right, so the first thing we wanted to talk about was how has the first year gone for you as the principal of South?
Well, it's been great. This is my 8th year here at South. I spent 4 years as a discipline assistant principal and then 3 years as a curriculum assistant principal, and then this is the first year as principal. And I think I always knew that I wanted to be in a principal role, but I fell in love with the South Salem High School community and knew that this was the position that I wanted to wait for.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that kind of leads us into our next question. Is that what made you like the principal here at South, like the community?
Yeah, I think South has this really unique sense of inclusivity with our student population, and I felt it like really early on when I started working here. I remember just feeling like it was home. That it had a really family type atmosphere, and that our students were incredibly kind, and it just felt really welcoming, and knew that that was a place that I really wanted to be a part of.
Awesome.
What were some of your biggest concerns about being the principal at South, and how have they ended up?
I have a 5-year-old at home, and so I think my biggest concern was figuring out a way to manage kind of the workload and the stress of being in charge of an entire school community, and then also balancing my family. And I think it's been pretty well. I've been able to bring my son to lots of different school activities, which has been great, and he'll be going to school at one of our elementary schools that feed the South. And so I think being able to tie in my home life with my work life has been a really great thing, and I think that was the thing that I was most nervous about, was pretty much the workload.
Yeah. All right, well, we just have one more question for you, and then we'll get you out of here. What are some of your future goals for South or your career, etc.?
Yeah, great question. I've been really impressed with just the energy that our students have brought this year. This has been the first normal year that we've had in 4 years. And I think our students have just brought this really distinct enthusiasm and energy into all of the student activity clubs and athletics and music, that I just think that's really helped bring back some of our Saxon culture. And that's something that I really want to focus on continuing, is just creating that Saxon culture and making sure that we have lots of opportunities for students to be engaged in our school. This program is a really great example. So CTE and just finding those opportunities for students to find their passion, whether that's in their classes or it's a club that they're part of, or starting, whether it's a music, athletic, athletics, there's just lots of opportunities here. So just focusing on student engagement is something that I'm going to be continuing to focus on next year.
Awesome. Well, we're excited for that. That's all the questions we have for you today. Thank you so much for coming in, and we'll catch you all next time on Saxon Now.